I hit it fat. Unbelievable. When you give golf lessons, your primary job is to help people who are struggling struggle less, or teach people who are new golfers how to swing and hit the ball and hit all the shots. And when you have a struggling golfer, including golfers that have the Shanks, a word that folks are even scared to even say out loud, it used to be a real trick for teachers to fix things like this. Because why? Because they're positionally looking at it, maybe on video, and going, well, the club is moving out too much, so let's put something out there so you don't hit it. And all you're doing is putting a bunch of lipstick on a pig. Still a pig. No, understanding how the golfer pushes and pulls and twists on the club kinetics, that we've been so fortunate to learn from the greatest golf scientist of all time, Dr. Stephen Nesbitt. I can fix stuff like the Shanks a lot better than before I knew club kinetics. So we're going to deal with a good player who's got a little problem with that S word, and then we're going to have our first primer on club kinetics. Okay, folks, very excited today. We got Sean Mitchum. Hey, buddy, thanks for coming here.
Sure, thanks for having me.
And the great thing is, when somebody comes for a lesson, right, whether it's a good player, really beginner, somebody you've never seen before, we met just a little bit ago, or somebody you've worked with for a long time, you really never know exactly what's going to happen in a lesson. I over the years, have seen people say, oh, you should have a lesson plan, like you're teaching 5th grade science or something. You got no chance. You're gonna go broke fast. You have to adjust on the fly. So I told him, I said, hey, go ahead and warm up. And then we uncovered 2 things that I did not know, other than he was a good player and nice looking young guy. He shanks balls with his wedge from time to time, which is a good player fault, but a lot of regular people have it too. And he doesn't like hitting off artificial turf. Do you know there's a company that's making pallets for indoor places with real grass?
That's cool.
They make the pallet. They have a deal with a local side place, and then they just roll the side out. You stack it out up top. So
that's awesome.
What you were just trying to hit what length shot?
I was just say 50.
Okay,
75.
yeah, let's do it, because we can fix this before we fix anything else. Why not?
Is it good right there?
Oh yeah, you're great. I maybe move this ball.
Back in.
Not quite a foot.
Okay.
Just because TrackMan will, give us a number based on the line that you're on there.
I don't know why I keep doing it.
So that was like a mini, right? That wasn't like a maxi shank. It was hitting the hosel and went, oh no, it was maxi.
Yeah.
All right, we got something to look at right away. Why wait for another one?
My hosel's getting some wear and tear.
Well, that face is pretty worn out, got no grooves on it, so there's probably more spin off the hosel. So it just kind of comes over for a wedge, right? You got like an interesting little combination here. You got really, really steep shoulders. This would be flat shoulders, right? You got really steep shoulders and really in club. So that, you don't see that every day. You see plenty flat shoulders and up club, but still that's something that jumps off the page. I mean, like super. Club eventually gets kind of on plane, face is okay. But you can't keep that left shoulder down like that. So you're going to have to, at some point, right, it's going to have to go from really low and really steep to the right shoulder's got to be lower. Yes, so if you look at like normal people who shank the ball, they get in this area right here, and you can start seeing evidence that it might shank. Not you. The only evidence I have is I know, because your shoulders are like this, that at some point you're going to have to do a big switcheroo this way, see? And that's the problem. Soon as you do that late, you influence where the club is. The club shoots out a little bit, which is one reason why people shank it, and then you just don't really have a feel for the sweet spot because you can't get on top of it. So I know that's a lot of words, but let me try to make it make sense. So if I was just had this thing on my hand like this, and I just wanted to go pow, right, to hit it straight, right? Make a fist from it. So if I wanted to take that club and just go pow, you're doing this. So you see what that would do is it'd make the club go back out. Long ago, how long you been playing?
2.5 years.
Okay, so long ago you went, that's not going to work because you just stick the club in the ground. So you're going to take the club in, still have the shoulders like this. Now the problem is you can't just do this. Every ball would go left. Mm-hmm. So what you do, let's stick with this analogy right here because I'll leave people hanging, is all right, you have to go this way, and then that movement you make in your shoulders presents two things. One, probably opens the face a little and gets the hosel and the sweet spot confused. And two, it pushes the club out. So I think if we can fix your shoulders a little bit on the backswing, that might go away. So you go ahead and set up and make the backswing that you think you were making, because everybody's pose and their real swing ain't the same. But that little 50-yard wedge shot.
I probably went to a year.
Yeah, all right. Should be like that. So do it again.
Keep them up.
All I'm doing is I'm looking at your rib cage like this. I got my thumb in the middle, so I got some kind of point. That's not going to be what you're turning around, because it's probably going to be a couple inches on the other side of the thumb. But I'm trying to get it to go. If you were straight up, I'm just trying to do this. But you're not straight up. You're bent over, so it's the same version. What you were doing, if you were straight up, was this. So bent over, it's like super duper tilted.
Yeah.
Okay. Do it again.
Okay, so
same length backswing. The club
comes up.
Would have to. I mean, you figure that out in 2 seconds. If somebody was making you do the shoulders like this would be the club. Kind of weird.
Yeah, it feels different.
Here we go. Let's do the other way.
Oh, yeah, it feels bad.
Don't do that anymore. There's no future in it. You got a chance to be a really excellent player, so you just right there. Now if we pow, so it's sound activated. So you watch this. So this is it right here. So it's the shoulders, club's in the right spot. I don't know what'll happen from there, but you look better. No, it should be better. So let's see. Make this ball get on this line. Right there. Okay. We pose it one time. I get the heck out the way. You try to do one, and we see what happens. All right. Here we go. Right.
Oh, over there.
Yeah. Do it one more time. There you go. Okay. Let's see.
Try to hit it.
Oh yeah.
I think I topped it, but it was.
It's okay. Let's see if it's any different here. You know what? They're much better. We need to get a couple reps in before we really grind on looking at it. So here we go. Do it again. So that first part is that's when you would go this way.
So now it's just turn.
I'm going that way. And I have to lift my arm up.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Okay. There's no fun if it works right away. It looks like a setup. Okay, so let's see. So we're going to look at the face on here. This last one and this one that we probably use as our. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of track the Callaway logo. All right, so here we go. Callaway logo. All right, so here's the other one. Callaway logo. Go back to address. It says no back up, right? It's all where this one is screwed up the line, but where this one kind of had like a little down and then up, this one kind of just went down, right? But if you just look at get rid of all the stupid lines and just look, it's very different looking, right? Even though the club is not that much further back here, like you don't see any of the right side of your chest from the face on.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like your big brother right here. Like your head looks bigger, and it's just because it's sitting here. Look at where the nose is. If we draw a line straight down, the nose, everybody gets all panicky about moving the head. Here's your nose in both. You go to address. This obviously had to move back a little to get there. This one pretty much is smelling that line the whole time back. So if you just turn kind of, if you just turn normal, then your head's going to probably move a little bit, not a bunch, not a whole bunch, but like there's going to be a little bit of head kind of rotation too. So I think the feeling, this is just my thought, go ahead and set up, is that this left chest area, right, shoulder and chest area, it's going to feel like it doesn't go down. It's going to feel like it just stays up when it turns.
Right? It never drops.
It never drops.
Never drops.
Right. And then if maybe you don't even associate with your left side very much, and if you look at the right side, it's going to feel like it doesn't go up.
Yeah.
It's going to feel like it just
turns.
There used to be a famous old club pro and good teacher named Bill Strasbaugh. He called it burying the right shoulder because, a lot of slicers do this move to help them swing this way and play their slice, right? And they have to feel like they're taking the right shoulder and put it like over here, like in the ground almost. But it's not that way. You can overdo anything, but that's the feeling. So I would get in there and I'd go. I wouldn't even think about my arms on the first practice swing. I would just go do that and then say, okay, I'm going to do that and get my arms up. Right? I would do it like as a two-part practice swing. One where I just let my shoulders turn flatter, and then one where I let my shoulders turn flatter and get my arms up. And then when you got the feel right there, that's decent, go ahead and hit one.
Top.
I didn't have the greatest feeling in the world. I was kind of shaking my head behind you going, I'm not digging what I've said so far. It's all correct. It's better, better action.
See, I think one of my problems is that I can't get these fingers tucked. So I always feel like I'm always down the club pretty far.
One of the problems is the grip's no good.
Yeah.
That's what the problem.
I would agree.
It's like it was when you play good. What do you shoot?
I'd probably say like 78, 79.
Yeah. So you break 80 when you play good, and you got a grip of a 90 shooter. So hey, turn around like this, facing Jonah right here, and take your grip the way you normally do. We're gonna do a emergency grip change here. I can just see everybody watching this video. Oh, you're gonna change the grip. You're gonna change everybody's grip. The grip isn't the fundamental. What about this guy on tour? What about that guy on tour? They ain't shanking 50-yard wet shots. if you came in here flushing all these wet shots, I wouldn't care how you were gripping.
Yeah.
We're trying to help you here. Okay, so the first thing, take this hand off. If you look at the top, turn around all the way, and leave your hand right there for the camera. So if you look at the top of this grip, he's kind of got heel pad on top of the grip, kinda, but then turn around the other way. It's pretty strong, right? So how you see how weak or strong your grip is? Hold the club out in front of you, arm level, wrist level, and then you look at the lines versus your wrist. That's like 30 degrees, right? This would be neutral, would feel terrible, right? Because if it was neutral, I don't think you get the heel pad on top. See, look at this. It looks like Corey Pavin's putting grip, from 1980. So turn around this way. There you go. So what I usually do is I kind of uncock the wrist. So this is cock, thumb up, uncock. Right. I uncock the wrist when I hold people's hand, and I'm looking for this little. Better not shoot the bird. I'm looking for this little curve right here, because that's going to go on top of the grip. That's how I've learned, 99 years of doing this, to get that on top. And then you start looking at, the other thing, like how far over did you do the hand? How far over did you do the hand to do it? About the same, really. So it's just in a different place, right? Feels weird?
Yeah, it does.
Now put your right hand on there, do your interlock, whatever you do. All right, so now turn this way. So what we're going to do different is what you did with something like this, right?
Yes, sir.
The heel pad of your right hand went on top of your left thumb. We want the lifeline. This guy right here says you're going to be 120 years old. You want the lifeline over the thumb. So that's going to really change your, like you were saying, you couldn't even kind of close your fingers up. This is supposed to be completely in the fingers, this right hand.
Okay.
And you had it like partially in the hand.
Yes, sir.
So, how about that?
Definitely feels different.
Yeah, let me just tell you. You're lying if you're lying. The first time somebody put my hands on different than I came up with on my own, I was in a fit of panic. I was like, this is not, I don't know if I can break 100 doing this. And at the time, I had already shot in the 60s a few times. Like, I'm pretty sure this is not going to work. Okay, go ahead and set up. I can just look at your mannerisms and go, my hand's got to be more under, and this hand's got to be more over right there. If somebody asks me, how do you know just when you stood there and looking at it? I don't know. I think it's a 9 million lessons or just a feel, just like anything else. Go ahead and set up, backswing. So now, one trick for this right hand grip, let's just say you wanted your wrist flat right here. Not saying we do, but I think probably a good idea. Take this hand off. So you get the wrist where you want it at this point in the swing. I'm not saying this is it, but I'm just saying it's a good place to start, flat.
Yes, sir.
Now you put your right hand grip on there. With the only change is do the lifeline thing, right, like this. Right. And now look at that's probably more under, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably where it needed to be, more under. All right, so set up to the ball. Man, when I'm telling you, on Vegas, this shot is not on the board. You can't bet it any which way. All the people watching this on YouTube, they're thinking, he's going to shank it again. I don't think so. I have confidence. See, this backswing turn eventually is going to make sense. All right, let's see. The whole world wants to know.
I think I'm just taking the hosel to the ball.
But that's all right. There's something about that I liked better. Yep, I think the shoulders and the arm combination, the arm's steeper and the shoulders flatter. Than it was like the opposite of what we originally did, that you originally did. Right?
Yeah.
It's just a pure shank right there. Right, just a real. But look at, like I'm telling you that this is decent. It's better. Trying to figure out exactly what we're gonna do to make it even better. Dear old friend, the blue playing board. Bought it from an upholstery shop in Louisville, Kentucky. I used to not teach outdoor, indoors. This is the last 10 years of my life. This thing was outdoors in the sun, heat, hail, everything. So set up, give yourself like 2 fingers right there. All right, we're gonna put this little ball, looks like a ball marker, but it's just a mini plastic tee. And let's do the same thing, but we're gonna have that board away. So we're gonna here on the backswing. And really all you're doing is just taking it right, an extension of that. And trying to trace that little 2-finger gap on the way down. Catch that thing, get the leading edge underneath that thing, finish, and
miss it completely.
yeah, that ground's not going to hurt, and that board's not going to hurt, and and the ball marker's not going to hurt. Hit it. Right, you shank the ball marker. It's hard to do. Right? That's the first person that's ever done that for me. I know it seems ridiculous, but it actually is getting better. All right, let's do it again with the ball marker. Flat shoulders. All right, there you go. Right, now, take this hand off and put it back on. Okay, now what I want you to do is unhook this finger and put this thumb like that. Unhook the finger, wet finger on the sweet spot. Now your job, this thing is a little too far, that's probably good. Your job is to pull me all the way to the ball without me sliding off. So you're gonna have to start down, you have to start turning that logo in your glove down.
Yeah.
Turn more. There you go. Now, I'm not confident you can pull me there. Pull me, make it look like a golf swing. Start tucking your hips underneath you. Ho. Okay, don't pull so hard. Push more. Push on the club head more. Okay. All right, so that it got your hands a little too far forward that time, but let's do it again. Go to the top. You're trying to feel for this thumb here. Let's start putting a little pressure on it. what does that feel like on that finger, right? Yeah. Versus, watch this. Now do the same thing. That's different. Now look at it. Now switch. It's gonna you have to twist more, right? You're gonna have to twist. So you want to lag the sweet spot. You don't want to lag the hosel. You want to feel, what does this thing feel like, as opposed to that, right? Because if you can find it, you can do this in the dark with any grip. But I would just start turning this thing down. Yeah. And then actually even, it'd be a little more turned down here too. So you would just kind of slide off like that, and it just has to go that way. You try to do it. Yeah, just like that. And you're just going to try to say, hey, Brian, I feel with Brian's, I'm going to drag Brian's finger down. I'm going to hit that, knock it into the screen. Hey, see, straight. Now, one of the reasons this open thing, I call this thing a nest. Nobody's ever came up with a name for this little dude. Look at this little doodad on the right hand, this little thing, little pucker right here. I just call it a nest because at the top of the swing, it's going to sit in that nest. But one of the reasons why that drill works so good is your finger, right? Especially we just did the thing where I put my finger on there, so you felt what that feels like. If you go with the open hand, you put your finger where I put mine on the sweet spot. Right? If you go open-handed, this feels like the club's going to come out of your hand, regardless of the finger.
Yeah.
So what you do with the open, thumb and forefinger is you go, I don't have anything here. I'm going to lose this thing. But if I go this way, I got the weight of the club up against my finger. I got something to hit with. That little move, I got something to hit with. Changes the whole thing. So this toe of this club, and zoom in a little bit. So watch this. So you're starting to turn that toe down more, right? And you're trying to zoom in even more. This forefinger has to get directly behind the sweet spot, right before, and then boom, through impact. And guess what this thing did right here? Look at this. That's behind that, right? So you got now the target, more or less. You've got the target, the grip, and then your forefinger kind of lined up with each other, going in the same direction as the club. Where if that thing is just a little under, possible shank. Squared that thing up like a champ. That's one of the things about having a good grip. If you put the right hand on there good, this last little piece of meat right here, you usually have the three, not everybody's lucky and you have all three, but you have the three. You're just saying, I'm pulling Brian's finger to the ball, see? This is not the same thing. So you just lose me even if we were hooked like this, right? So you're trying to, no matter what you do, Jim Furyk's backswing, Matt Wolf, you got to put the club back on some kind of angle, and then, which is this way, the opposite way we want to go, but they had to do it. The club's on this side of it. But now they have to get back on top, and that's what you did on that last one. We saw you go from right here, right before you hit it, you went right there. And tour players will say things like, I wasn't on top of it. And people think they always mean the body, but sometimes they mean the hands. You cannot be the player you can be thinking you might have a shot off a hard pan lie and you're going to shank a 50-yard wedge shot. Right? Yeah. You're too talented for that. So I would say the feeling is just the positional feeling is that you're taking the toe of the club and twisting it down. Because now I could do anything. I could take something that was way less likely to keep you like this. Right, go to that spot again and come on down. And you trap that guy on there and drive that into the ground. Like this. Right? Get on top of that. Right? Behind it. And leave it there for a second. Say, I can do that. Right now. Don't lose it while I do this body thing. Because your body ain't going to be like that. Your body's going to be more like this. Right?
Yeah.
Tailbone ahead of your neck. You see how the body going this way made it easier to lose that?
Yes, sir. Okay,
so when you did this in the backswing, you had to do this body to hit it, and that caused you to could make this little strange shot here. We're not going to say the word out loud because it makes people nervous. What's super interesting about when you re-grip somebody's hands a bunch of times in a lesson is it gets easier for me to do it.
Yeah.
Because your hand starts going, all right, we got piano hands, right? Quarterback hands, baseball hands, two split finger fastball hands, right? Left-handed golf, right-handed. See, right? You just overlap fingers, interlock fingers. So I would like the same, let that fly. Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead and set up. And what I'm doing here is I want you to get like impact, like that. And I want you to just start tapping on this thing, tapping on it. And yeah, just like that, with a little more down, right? Yeah. Not a lot more. I don't want the hands that far forward, but you're not gonna hurt me, right? And say my forefinger pad is right behind this damn club, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what it feels like. Or keep hold it like that. If I was just trying to make a divot with the front edge of the club, it feels a certain. This feels one way. This feels another way. All right, here you go. All right, one practice backswing, you and me together.
Okay.
Like that. And then no matter what, this sucker grabs my finger, turns down, and this gets behind the hit.
Yep.
That's your job. They flew you all the way in here from Antwerp to do this. Break a diamond.
All right.
So the feeling is, okay, so watch. I wasn't that confident you were going to do that good there. The feeling is you got to tie basically the whole lesson together at any point, right? So here it is. I was dribbling a basketball and thought, oh shit, I can't bounce the ball and make it go straight. It's going to go that way. See, if I did this with my shoulder and dribbled the basketball like this and I was going to just throw it at the ground, it would go straight left. So you're trying to bounce the ball straight, like your regular action here. Stand right there. So John can see me. Sorry. So you were like going high dribble. Beat a Washington, played point guard for UNO when I was there. You dribble the ball this high. Coach Smith had to go to all the referees every time we played and said, how you doing, Mr. Official? Listen, we got a point guard here from Brooklyn. He dribbles up here, he doesn't get underneath the ball. He didn't. He never ever carried it, but he dribbled it. He would bounce it so hard it would go up like this high. So, but if you were doing that, right, your left shoulder would go down, and you couldn't just take that basketball and bounce throw it because it would go over there. So what you learned to do was, right, you did this last second, and bounce throw it this way. So the tied together thing is I'm turning my shoulders like this on the backswing, comparatively, so that I can jump on top of Brian's finger, and I think the ball's not going to go left. Because if you did this in the finger thing, the ball would go like behind you almost. So I'm going this way so that this move is easier. That's the basic. Do your version of that grip. Let's see it.
So started here.
Yeah, that's better than the way you had it.
And this kind of stays
under,
behind.
think under. Yeah.
This kind of comes behind it.
All right, go ahead. Set up. I'm turning this way so that I can get on top of that. Can I get on top of it, not under it, on top of it. Because if you're like this at the top, your shoulder's already on top. You can't do double on top.
Yeah.
Right? Your shoulders are like this. Now you can get on top of it. Now what I want to see going through, so watch this. Go ahead and make a little divot. I want to see the face start turning a little more toward the ground. So you're going to say on my through here, if Brian gets over here, I can make the internet happy and bang him right on top of the head like this. Instead of this. It's not going to do as much damage. Just as better. So you're on the side of it here, right? This finger, like it's on the side. It eventually gets behind. it's directly behind when you hit it. Now, as the club closes, it's more on top. And here, I would say when you're going to hit Brian on top of the head, you're going to have you, the forefinger, and then the club, instead of you and the forefinger and the club this way, or heaven forbid, that way, right?
So.
You're just going to exaggerate the twist the whole way down. So you do that and hit the mat and stop over there, and we're going to check it out. More that way. Okay. Make a divot. Make a divot.
Farther.
And I would curl these knuckles. What the heck?
Okay, so I just got to feel it.
All right, now, here's the only thing you're going to do different on this shot. You haven't hit one solid yet, so I don't even know how far the ball would go if you swung as hard as you're swinging. So you're going to make the same length swing here.
Okay.
And just put your hand up. I'm going to slap it, okay? I think that's about what you were doing. You're going to make the same length swing and just tap it out there.
Okay.
Just don't hit it as hard. Just like lazy, I would even go so far as saying under. Remind you here of this newest little detail. See how it's club, forefinger, U.
Yeah.
Like this. Push up against my coconut. Yeah. Okay. It jumped from under here, on the side here, behind here, semi on top here, almost completely on top there, and then in between me and the club. Okay. Remember now, I slapped you hard and I slapped you easy. You're going to make this smoother. And the main thought is, I'm going to get that thing under and I'm do the finish so that when Brian goes over there, he can't fix me. Right. Do that again. Do that practice again. Right, I'm going to finish with the club.
Club, finger.
Then finger you. Okay, let's see. Believe it when I see it. That ball didn't go that way, right? So let's see how much or if we overdid it. There's basically no way you're going to shank it doing this. That, believe it or not, for all the super duper stuff we did over there, that's kind of a standard position. That was much better. I know it's an unplayable shot left, but if you knew it wasn't going to go right, you probably wouldn't hit it over there. Let's do it again.
Is that it? Almost.
You know what?
Feels
B plus.
Feels like it.
I'm a tough grader for grips. All right, backswing. All right, I'm a little under, right?
Under.
Then I'm getting on top. I'm behind it when I hit the ball. I'm getting this way with my body. Go through. I'm going on top, completely on top, in between me and the grip. Okay. Little bit longer backswing this time, but lazy. That went 88 yards total, like 60 yards with a little longer backswing.
Okay.
That's kind of how you ought to be hitting the wedges anyway, unless you're trying to hit a little super checker. You know, it's like lazy. That's just a billion times, not a million, a billion times better. Now, push like crazy on my thumb. As hard as you can without moving your hands forward. Like just try to break my thumb. See how that thing, it's a different feeling. That's right behind square. You give a good player a club, and you spin the club any damn which way you want, and you tell them, just lazy, hit it out there. They'll go, they know exactly where that forefinger is. They get on top of it, and you're gonna go one more time through here. You're gonna get super on top of it like that. All right, let's see. Very long, very lazy. All right. There's no more shanks, right? It's not going to shank. Now, the trick is, what do we have to do to not hit it left? Right?
Yeah.
So that's easy. If you went out right now and just said, hey, got to go, see you, thank you, nice for coming out, and you went, said, man, I got to go practice this right now.
Got
your
everything
buddy.
left.
If you did everything, you say, you know what? I don't care. I'll just aim right. He's better than Shanks. Go ahead. So you're going to do the same exact move, same everything. Don't mind me. I'm just holding on for dear life down here. You get on top of that to make your backswing. I would have my wrist a little more that way to start with.
Okay.
And you can curl it to get on top, right? Going this way. See, it's right behind it, right behind it. Boom, hit the ball. On top, more on top, in between you and the club, okay? That's your job. My job is to, go along for the ride down there, as far as you know.
Take it back.
Yeah, I would flatten that wrist up.
And then I turn.
You're gonna go this way with the hips. Boom, okay? Together, all right? They're gonna hit this one, just like that last one. Same exact length, same everything, don't mind me. No, you can't hit me. I'm just gonna help you hit it, okay?
So you want me to hit it?
You ready to go?
Yep.
Good swing, get right behind that sweet spot. Right, so you see, that's the problem, right? The old move, the under move from the steep shoulders, this is the under move from the non-steep shoulders, made it a lot harder for you to get on top of that sweet spot. And you got a lot of feel for that hosel, even though I think that was probably okay. So basically the thing that I would say about what I did right there is you used to be so much this way, right, that you couldn't hit it like this. So you would go this way to hit it, and you would always make this little tailbone ahead of the neck bone move out of self-defense. You couldn't have broke 100. All right, so you did it. Now you're doing this. It's easy to kind of go back and not, but you're always trying to get your tailbone a little ahead of your neck bone. Okay, I think the wedge is going to be okay. Let's hit a couple of whatever iron you brought. 8, 6,
7.
7.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see some 7s. This ain't no dictatorship. You had no choice. Yeah, we were trying to save you from certain
Failure.
all the people in the audience over there. Nobody stands on the right side of Sean when he's on the turn. Of what we just worked on, the only thing I would think, I'm definitely, this is basic to golf. Okay? You did it every time you hit a good shot. You got that thing behind. But you probably did that on the full swing too. So I would just round those shoulders out and hit me a full one.
Hit another one.
That was good. I know it went a little right, but it was good. Do your grip. Man, we're going to have to spend extra time. It's okay.
Just got to get a feel where it's at.
Yeah. This time, hey, we're going to go. We're going to go with the birds flying this time.
All right.
How far you usually hit that club?
I'd say 170.
All right, well, I went 134 in the air, so let's hit it. Come on.
All right.
Flatten those shoulders on the backswing. Get that forefinger behind the hit.
Yes, sir.
That's your only two main things.
He shanked it.
Not all of the gray hairs from Shanks, but there's a certain amount of them. The deal about this one is this is actually, you're right in between doing this all the time correctly and the old swing. So it's a little low for your arms to be on a full shot,
That's another thing. I can't get it back that far.
Yeah, you can. Right? And it just needs to be, the wrist probably needs to be flatter there. Flatter here than it would normally be, but it's just not quite
there.
Yeah, so got a little toy here we're going to use called a Wrist X by my friends over at Y Golf. They had a couple cats, brothers, they're like older than me. Hey, look, I don't mean that. Look, y'all might be younger than me. I'm guessing because I still feel like I'm a kid, but you look at me, I'm an old man. In my head, I'm a kid. And anyway, these two brothers, they made their money and they retired and they were bored as all get out. So one of them started a golf training aid company. The other one got involved and They're probably the best training company on the market. So this thing doesn't do anything. It's a noise maker, but when it clicks, you get a little, feel for the click, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. I think definitely short term, your left wrist needs to be flatter earlier in the swing. So go ahead and set up and hose through. Oh, let me fix you up here now. Believe it or not, that's straight.
That's straight?
That's straight.
Wow, that's crazy.
All right, get out of there, get out of there. So what I do from back here, right, is I go, no. First of all, maybe the pants are on crooked, but I just try to get the belt straight and the torso straightish. It's always going to be tilted this way because your right hand's lower on the club. But that's all I'm trying to do. When you watch the video, you'll see this is straight, but it probably feels like you're leaning.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that makes, obviously, this turn away, right, easier. Go all the way to the top, go all the way to the top. You see how that thing never clicked?
Yeah.
I wanted to click right away. So let's set up. So as you're making that same turn, you're clicking it, right? You heard it click early. You're keeping it clicked. You don't make enough swing to re-click it. Like people with longer backswings, I have them re-click down. No click, no click, no click, no click, no click. If it clicks over here, who cares? The ball's done down. It ain't over there scaring all the people at the Russell's Hotel. Okay, so you make your backswing now. Get all this on straight. I know it feels wrong.
Yeah, that's so weird.
All right, so it should be clicked in. So just to show you, that's in, that's out. Should be in at the dress.
Okay.
A lot of people put their hands forward. I hate that with a passion. So then click, stay clicked. Double click, no good. Okay, just a backswing. It's in clicked to the top. Coming down, never clicked, right? That's it one, let's see. All right.
So hips again?
Yeah, it's just crooked. Can't help it. There you go, all right. In click, yeah, good, okay.
Okay.
Ah,
Oh,
never clicked.
scared me.
You good. No, it's gotta click right away.
Okay.
Right?
First move, it should click.
I mean, like, about first parallel. Get this hand a little more under. Okay.
So my first movement, I'm turning back
Yeah, and
for my wrist
you're curling these knuckles.
down.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I go back, it's
It's
curling down.
still that way, right? And now look, from there, you would have no problem. I could, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna get more on top, and you're sliding. Get more on top, more on top. Use your wrist more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see. It wouldn't have to click again. That's the point. Okay. Better click right away. I'm gonna just. Did it click again at the top?
I don't know.
And we got 5 people. Nobody knows. Okay, so watch this. I'm down with that for your backswing, right? You one of these, short backswing, fast hips guys. There's no way you could have that wrist more cupped than that, and that face more open than that, and not be a insurance risk for all people over here on the right side of the course. That was good. I like that a lot. Shoot, but that was part of the problem. You had your left hand on the club kind of funky, and you figured out that overall, I mean, maybe you figured this out, maybe you didn't, that a little bit cupped, probably the ball went straighter. You want to put this left hand in a position, for now, I think, that cupped is bad.
Okay.
So you learn to flatten it, right? And then you can always make your grip stronger, and then you can cup your wrist a little bit and all that stuff. By then you'll be 5 shots around better. Okay, set up. See if you can get your hips and your shoulders, everything on straight. So what I would say is tailbone an inch forward, neck bone an inch backward, belly button an inch to the right. That's my usual belt buckle, belly button, right? Tailbone an inch forward. Right here, right? An inch to the right. And then turn everything, right? All of this middle of you, turn that a little bit to the right. You're probably slick, right? One click going back.
Oh,
it wasn't
I
clicked
clicked
in.
at the
That
dress.
wasn't clicked
Okay, here we
in.
go.
So this should point at your zipper line, not up here. Okay, now it's clicked in. So now back up ahead, you're a little too close to it. Okay, so one click in the takeaway, turning your shoulders all the way to the top, coming down, no more clicks, hips more forward, good. Little swivel for fun. Yeah, see it, see it. Right hand a little more under, right there. Make sure it's clicked in, but push your hands backwards, like push them back.
Like that.
Push them backwards,
Okay.
and then it'll be clicked.
Oh, I didn't hit that one too
That's
good.
okay. That's all right. You. The grip, for some unknown reason, and I just wanted to see it anyway. The left hand grip looked like garbage, and I went, no, I just let him hit it because he did it more or less on his own, and one of the reasons why I think teachers, there's always a thing like this. Somebody wins a tournament. Ryan Fox wins a tournament. Gripped it like this. Now, what first thing people say is, "Oh, look at that! That doesn't look like Ben Hogan. See, the grip is not a fundamental. See, well, you know what that tells people like you trying to, become a +6 instead of a 6? It tells you everything's okay. My grip's all right. Your grip was trash, man." You're not trash. I'm trash. You're fine, but your grip was trash. So we want, when you check it out this way, so you get that way. When you do the checkout this way, I want those lines not matching. See, it's just a little this way. Mm-hmm. What we don't want with you, let go of the club, is this stronger grip.
Okay.
Because then if you click it out, the club is going to be close. And you're going to learn not to do it. You're going to hate me. You're going to wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. Manzella, damn it, that guy messed my game up. I don't like that. I like when I get postcards from nice golf courses. 73 at St. Andrews today, babe. It was birdied the last hole. I waited my whole life to play it. It was 40 degrees and 40-mile-an-hour wind.
Oh, Lord. That's rough.
I played with my best friend in the business, Michael Jacobs. We had to have a match, like a match play match, because the stroke play score was unprintable. So let's see, I'm going to make it let go a little bit. I'm going to make it like that. We just did the grip. All right. We want you to have to do this for the face to be square.
Okay.
Then you'll learn to do it. Right? If it's a little bit stronger, don't change it. It looks good.
Hit this?
Yeah, but I'm going to do a little trick this time. We're going to put it like that.
It's full.
Yeah, it's just going to be right behind the hit, like if you were putting with that long finger.
All right.
I knew that was going to be good. See, I know ahead of time. It's like, I wish I could say it was that smart, but it's just, I've seen it a million times. Like that forefinger, that's like the, you got to do it with somebody that ain't a baby, right? Because you take the wrong person that doesn't make a good swing at it. Otherwise, they hurt their fingers. So that one's like, that's a little iffy. But basically, this is my normal grip. This is the grip that we've been doing that drill with. And then this is what we just did. We had the thumb over and the forefinger down the grip like Nancy Lopez putting. But you can feel the sweet spot.
Yeah.
With that finger behind it. Look at it. So excited. Zoom. That finger knows. Look at it. That finger's not on top right now. It's on the side, right? See? It's like shaking hands. Yes. But it knows, I got to watch this move here is basically the difference between you and me playing golf. Because otherwise, you'd beat my ass. Young and strong and all that. I'd wax you like rain dance. But this thing right here, that move is the move. My dad was a smart guy. He had a regular job. Every year, we'd take off the week of the New Orleans tournament. It used to be at Lakewood. He didn't live long enough to see English Turn and then TPC. So he comes home one day and Fuzzy Zeller was a rookie, and I think he was still going by the name Zoller. He says, me and Ray Erzron, guy I played golf with, said, we met a cat today. This guy's he's gonna be one of the best players in the world. You never heard of him. Like, I think I'm a big golfer, Yep. Who's that? Fuzzy Zoller. Never heard of him. He was hitting 3-woods. The range at Lakewood was real small. Still there, like it's right past that little abandoned bank. And when everybody would be on the range at one time, there wasn't enough room for normal people. That was the normal lie. So he was on the furthest spot you could be in, plus a yard, on a side hill lie. Like you wouldn't even hit 3 wedges. Yeah. Just like, no, I'll just wait for one of these cats to be finished. Fuzzy's over there, bare lie, hard on my head, side hill, bare lie, over the trees in the back with a 3-wood. My dad said this guy's gonna win majors. He did. You won a couple. So look at that right there. Won a major, won a US Open, and see that move right there from the side, the finger's on the side, and now it's not, it's on the back. And my dad said, Boogs, those guys are doing something different than me. I watched my dad swing in my teaching golf era, and he had a lot of good moves. Not that one. That little move, that little last minute jump on top, because if you do all of that, that can get you that this pro impact look, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're going this way to hit it, you'll look like a 20 handicapper, right? Let's see if we can get one more good one out of you. I know we can. All right, so check it, right? Looks good to me, okay? Mm-hmm. Now with this, go ahead and put your right hand on there now. Because now you see that forefinger should be, if you hold it out like this to do the left hand grip test, now your forefinger pad should be directly underneath the club. And if I hang my dry cleaning on this, you're holding it up with the thing that we're trying to get behind the hit. Right? Yeah. Okay. Set up this ball. Clicked in, right? Clicked in, wrist X. Mm-hmm. Turning shoulders, boom. Click. Okay. All right.
And swing.
It's almost clicking, see, but it didn't. Okay, here you're coming down, right behind the hit. There you go. Okay. So now look at, see that grip you got right now? Use that. That's like an elongated trigger finger. Okay. Just for one shot. Clicked in, try to hit it. I went a little right, or at least started a little right. I think the elongated finger was a little on top. But that's a good draw right there, right?
Yes, sir.
So watch this what I was talking about right there. I was going, oh no. Yeah, no, he's gonna make a good shot if his grip was right. But I want you to see this grip. The trick to hitting this button fast a bunch of times is don't look at the picture. See how this thing is just a little on top, right? You want it to be right when you do that, right on the side. Doesn't matter. You had it so twisted on there, I said he can feel it. He can feel, so remember what it looked like, and now watch it coming into the ball. See, it's right behind the hit, directly behind the hit. Perfect swivel. That's it, man. You're on your way. You think you can do this? Yeah, all you gotta do, turn your shoulders like this. Get your grip, flatten your wrist, all right?
Finger.
And off you go. I'll give you one more thing. The grip, we're gonna do it together, okay? Here we go. Left hand grip. You got 2 ways to do it, okay? So here's the first way. So I'm gonna be hands on the face, going right up your arm, only 3 fingers, and let it sit in the web. See, you got your little nest open. Let's see what that looks like. So. Hold it up there. It's like baseball, hold it like a baseball bat, without the thumb or the forefinger on there, and hold the arm up, and then have the weight of the club try to get, the club this way, just runs into the web. Make sure the lines, though, go straight up the arm.
There.
Okay? Like $1 million. Now, watch the trick. Then you just go out enough to put your thumb and forefinger on there. Now you can test it this way. Look at that, like $1 million. Now put your right hand on there so that this thing right here is on the back side of the grip.
Here.
That's it. You can do it. I want to see some 69s, all right? Thanks so much for coming out. You did great.
Sir, thank you.
All right. If you followed me on the internet for any length of time, any of my social platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you had to run into discussions on club kinetics. And it's my goal in this show, over a good half a year I'm giving myself to teach all of the folks who don't know club kinetics from a hole in the wall, why they're important and how to apply them to their swing. So what is kinetics? Well, first of all, you need to know not one other word, kinematics. So this entire video system we have here, multiple cameras, this guy right here over here, JC video from 4 different angles, not this one down here. These are all kinematics. Video is kinematics, it's positional. And by the way, on the market right here, Gears Golf, 10 high-end Gears cameras around the room, $5,000 piece cameras. That's Lucas Herbert, just won a tournament by a bunch of shots and almost won the British Open. And all of that information is kinematics. It's positional. His rib cage sway is in front of his hips in the downswing. It is, by the way, something you want to aspire to. Great wedge player, Lucas Hebert. New Orleans, it's Hebert, but I think he's Herbert. Okay. So that's what positions are. So the club is parallel to the ground, or the toe is in the air, or my left arm angle is like this, or my left arm swung a certain amount across my chest, a certain amount up from my chest. My hips turned a certain amount of degrees on a certain angle. All of that is kinematics. It's all positional. Kinetics, and we're going to talk about club kinetics for this 6-month, every other episode sort of primer on club kinetics, is the forces and torques that cause the positions. F, force, equals mass times acceleration. It's how it works. You have to, this club, all right, club, give me the best vanilla golf swing of all time. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to get out the way. It doesn't listen. You're holding that thing up. Really wanted to fall on the ground. You're actually positionally doing nothing right now, more or less. Just standing here, that club is doing nothing. But you're applying probably a torque because the club wants to go this way and you're basically keeping it up, or a force that's equating out to keeping the club from rotating this way. So even at address, you have to use kinetics. If I just pose the top of the backswing, if I let go of the club would tumble and fall. So I'm applying a force to keep it up there and a torque to keep it from rotating. So this is how it works, as simple as I can make it. Every golf club has this mass center. How do you find it? The center of all of the golf club's mass. Not the airplane, that's extra. All right, or the ball that I'm doing this with. So there's my balance point right there. And because the club head has a little bit of an offset angle, right? The toe of the club is way out here. The center of mass of the club is not on the shaft, even though the balance point was on the shaft. The real center of balance point would probably be right there, the end of that. So if you grab the club at its balance point and you pushed it or pulled it, it would pretty much respond completely directionally, linearly. Boom, boom, boom. No rotation of the club. The problem is when you play golf, you're always gripping the club a ways away from that balance point. So that same action, boom, right at the camera, if I hold the club right here and go bam, right at the camera, I had to watch that I didn't get conked in the coconut. Right? So I did accelerate the mass center, right? It moved some this way, but because this is a distance from the mass center, the whole darn shooting match rotated about the mass center as well. We call that, Jacobs 3D is the system that I'm explaining to you, devised by Dr. Stephen Nesbitt and Michael Jacobs. Stephen Nesbitt did research for the USGA back in the late 80s, early 90s in the National Golf Foundation, because Frank Thomas, who was the executive director at the time, and very much a doubting Thomas, by the way, a real smart guy, not with us anymore, he wanted to know, I know I can see Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer are doing something different to the golf club. can we quantify this? And he found a young, bright PhD from Lafayette College named Stephen Nesbitt, and he came up with all of this math to explain this. Okay, so back to pushing and pulling. So when I push the club toward the camera, or in this case, toward the wall right there, I get some mass center movement and also rotation about it. So that rotation we call angular response. We call this a force. A push or a pull is a force. Now, even though it caused rotation because of distance from the mass center, and some science types will call that a torque because it's one way to apply a rotation. I think calling it an angular response makes a lot more sense in the golf context, and you're going to see why. So that means every time I grab this particular object with this particular mass center and I apply the force parallel to the ground, let's say at a certain amount of force, that club is going to translate that way, that mass center is going to translate, and the club is going to rotate that way every time. But probably I couldn't do that exactly the same every time. What if I was sort of bad at somebody and I grabbed it real tight and I did that same thing? Boy, that guy makes me so mad. And I went, boom. Oh, wait a minute, that was different. It did a lot of translation and just a little rotation. Because when I grabbed it real tight, I applied a torque in the opposite direction. Just by holding on tight that time, but I could hold on very loose and just do a little throw while I do the pushing out and take this angular response and modify it with torque in the other direction. So we define a torque is the twisting action of the golf club. Happens a lot, right? When you're cocking your wrist at the top, that's causing a twisting action on the club as it goes around the clock. If I twist the face open and closed about the shaft, that's a twisting action. So this twisting action happens a lot, right? Down by the ball, you're trying to get that club head to the ball. Torque, okay. So you've got force, distance, always the distance from the mass center. You've got an angular response that you're gonna have every time you have a force, unless you apply a torque in the opposite direction. That's it. All the other words are just explainers of the phenomenon that happens depending on how much you resist or how little you resist. So again, we go up here again. If I take this and I push it this way and I don't resist, the force caused the mass center to accelerate and translate this way, made the club rotate back the other way. I call that blowback. That's a Brian word. That's not in any textbook. Right? It's just blowing back, woo, right? If I apply enough torque in the opposite direction, so all it does is translate, that's one possibility. So you could do it with the translation, no torque applied in the other direction. Enough torque that when I do it, it just translates, and even more torque, so it rotated the opposite way. So those three phenomenon, the basically summing up of the twisting action and the pushing, pulling action, we call that the sum of the rotators, or more textbook style, the sum of the moments. Just a moment's a rotator, right? So if this thing goes just sideways like that, the sum of the moments is 0. That original version where I'm forcing it like this and it's going backwards, we could say the sum of the moments is the club's kind of coming away from the direction I'm pushing. We'll say that's negative sum of the moments. And then if I just pushed and throw it that way, that would be positive sum of the moments. That's all you have in your disposal when you make a golf swing. That's it. So the very first thing you have to do in the swing is you have to get the club to swing away and get some height on it. So you're going to have to do a couple of things. First of all, you got to accelerate that mass center backwards some kind of way. You either got to apply a force this way, or you can push the other way and just get behind it and start, you can make the club move that way. So you're going to have to kind of apply a force side to side. To me, little old golf teacher, the easiest way would just be in the direction I want to move it. But that won't get the club in the air. I'm going to have to also apply a force from underneath the club to get some lift. And since it is at a distance from the mass center, that lift is going to want this tumbling action to happen. I'm going to also have to apply a torque just to get the club from right here to here. I have to apply force sideways. I have to apply a force from under the grip. And I'm going to have to apply some torque probably in the direction upward of the toe, just to make this simple action right there. And over the centuries, people have talked about the takeaway, but nobody really ever talked about you're going to have to get underneath this thing and lift it up. So in the process of turning this research into a usable software that golf pros could use and do their own research, because believe me now, you want golf pros doing the research, golf pros who teach the golf swing, because they see a phenomenon in the lessons and they want to know, how does this happen? Well, then you can do a test and they can come up with the solution. That's why this guy's always below plane. He doesn't apply enough force. And it was really hard to explain the directions of the forces and the torques until Michael Jacobs one day, sitting around, went, what if I taped like a little model airplane to the club? Then you could see the axes that we use in our convention. So this was all Hobby Lobby, the plane, and the tape, and the stick. By the way, I bought the sticks. Made this in about a half an hour. I've made a bunch of them. And this is a little, you'll get a ball any place. They probably have those at Hobby Lobby too. Find the balance point, and you have a Jacobs 3D airplane. And we're just going to give you the very basics of this convention of the airplane. Green along the shaft is gamma. Imagine that, green for gamma, right? So you have gamma force. When you're swinging this golf club, you're pulling along the long axis of the shaft. When I hit this ball, the predominant force or torque of anything I use in this swing is pulling the club along the long axis of the shaft. Here's the direction. I'm pulling along the long axis toward the grip, and I keep pulling along that long axis toward the grip, and eventually I'm actually pulling back toward me. It dwarfs all the other forces and torques in the swing. Gamma, negative, we call it negative gamma force. But you could just say pulling the grip off the club if you want to. You don't need to know any of the names. Then you got the red axis, pretty much parallel to the score lines on the club face. That's a very important one because it's in the back and forth direction. You put that club down here on alpha rotation. You can't even hit a all wrist chip shot without rotating around the alpha. And then when you cock your wrists and uncock your wrists, it's about this axis, this perpendicular to the club face axis called the beta axis. So we go alpha red, gamma green, beta blue, and you're either forcing along an axis, alpha force along the red axis, or torquing or rotating it about the axis. Beta force, beta rotation. Gamma force, gamma rotation. Really, the convention's not that difficult. I know the words scare a lot of people. You can make up your own words. Just know, if you've got a move in the golf swing you don't like, I come over the top. That thing didn't go over the top by itself. You had to apply a force and a torque at a distance from that mass center to make that club do that, and so did McIlroy, putting it in a better position and making $100 million playing the golf. And I think if we can take our time, now that we have this basic framework, and over the next 6 months, every other episode, give you a prime, and then start doing some testing here, using these cameras, the 3D cameras, and running the swinging gears and exporting the XYZs to Jacobs 3D, I can show you the difference between dragging it back in the takeaway or getting on the other side of the club and pushing it back from the other side. And everything else you might ever want to see. And believe me, the folks that understand that the club moves because of how you moved it, they're so much better off for it, and you stop getting really worried about positions. I'm going to leave you with this. Peter Thompson won 5 British Opens, and he played primarily not in the U.S. He played a little bit in the U.S. And then the senior tour came along, Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer and Lee Trevino, and boy, there was some money. And Thompson kept his game sharp, and he came over here, and it was either his first or second year on the Champions Tour. He won 9 times. So this guy could really play. And Golf Digest ran a sequence of his golf swing the year he won the 9 events on the Champions Tour, and it was beyond pure. And the story goes that back in the 50s or 60s, when he was able to see his swing for the very first time, he hated it. He thought it should have looked more like Ben Hogan, because that's what he was actively trying to do. But it didn't look like Hogan. But he was feeling kinetics. He was looking at kinematics. And every single person, I've seen several major champions get their swing run by Michael Jacobson, Manorville, Long Island, and I was in the room. Nobody ever says it didn't feel like that, because it's what you're doing, right? So don't let the big words scare you. Distance from the mass center, pushing, pulling, and twisting, it ain't that hard. We'll all learn together, and we'll have a lot of fun doing it.